Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. In this video, I want to explain why we should be careful when we are using GitHub Copilot. To do that, I want to summarize a research paper that was conducted in 2021 about the security of the code that GitHub Copilot produces. This research article was conducted by this scientist from University of Calgary in Canada and New York University in USA. So let's see what kind of research they did in terms of security of GitHub Copilot. So their focus was on answering this question: are Copilot suggestions commonly insecure? So to check the security of GitHub Copilot, they used the subset of MITRE's Common Weakness Enumeration, or CWEs, from their 2021 CWE Top 25 Most Dangerous Software Weaknesses. So if I go to their website, you can see the list of top 25 dangerous weaknesses in terms of security, and each year they updating their list. So if, for example, this is for 2021 that this study used to check the security of the code that GitHub Copilot produced. But if you want to find out the new version, you can click here and you can see the list of 2022. Okay, so this list indicates the most dangerous software weaknesses as measured over the previous 2 calendar years, which is quite interesting list. If you go here, you can click on any of these and read about them. For example, if I click on the first one, it talks about what kind of security risk it is, and then alternative terms and all sort of information that you can learn about. So this study examined the behavior of Copilot based on 3 dimensions. The first dimension is diversity of weakness. So that's the propensity for generating code that is susceptible to weakness in the CWE Top 25. Then they check the diversity of prompt and diversity of domain. To evaluate the security of the code that GitHub Copilot creates, they used GitHub CodeQL that can be used to check the security of the code that is produced by either programmer or an AI such as GitHub Copilot. So if you go to their website, you can read more about how it works. For example, if you click on about CodeQL, it gives more details about how it works and how you can use it. Okay, so these scientists use this tool to examine the security of the code that GitHub Copilot creates. So this is how they used it. So for example, the GitHub Copilot creates a query or a code such as this one. So this is about Python logging code, and then they feed the code to CodeQL, and the CodeQL checks the security of the code and gives data or feedback about if the code is secure. For example, here, this code that was generated by GitHub Copilot was fed to CodeQL, and this is one of the feedback that CodeQL gave, which is about building a SQL query from user control source is vulnerable to insertion of malicious SQL code by the user. This security warning is in the list of CWE, and that's CWE 89, or select insertion. So if I go to the CWE lists, so we can see CWE 89 is this SQL injection issue. So to check the code that GitHub Copilot creates, they designed 54 scenarios across 18 different CWEs, across this list of CWEs. For these 54 scenarios, GitHub Copilot created 1084 programs. Then they tested these programs using CodeQL to check the security level of the code. This is the result of their study. So based on their study, 40% of the codes that GitHub Copilot created had some security and vulnerability issue, which is quite a lot. And they mentioned that this can be dangerous, especially for beginners. It's very easy to, not to understand the code and not to understand how it can cause security issues when we are beginners. Yeah, guys, so make sure that whenever you use GitHub Copilot, make sure that you check the security. And this is a good method of checking the security, at least for the most security issues listed in this website. And you can easily use a CodeQL to check the security of your code. Thank you and good luck.